To call this council meeting to order. First off, public input. Citizens may address the council regarding any item of the city business that is not on tonight's agenda. The duration of the individual speaking under the public input is limited to 3 minutes. So I'm going to kind of abbreviate that. Because everybody's heard it so many times before. I guess we'll move right into general items. The appointment, I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Good job with the path going up Alder, get them kids to the new school, the white path, walking path. So the emperor's new clothes, the emperor's new suit, actually. Is that good? Oh, yeah, I forgot that. See, Barbara Ann Sprague Emineth, 501 Alder Avenue. All right. The emperor's new suit. Once there was a self-obsessed emperor who commanded 2 dishonest tailors to make him a new suit, and they were to use gold and silver thread. When he checked on their progress, they hadn't even begun. They explained that they had made him a magic suit that was invisible to stupid people. Not wanting to appear stupid, the emperor accepted the tailor's explanation when in fact, they had stolen the material to make the suit. The day came when there was a big celebration, and since his loyal subjects had told him what a nice suit had been made, not wanting to appear stupid themselves, he decided to wear it. When the parade began, a child yelled out the truth. The emperor isn't wearing any clothes. I find parallels between this fictional story by Hans Christian Andersen and our current reality. If the powers that be only surround themselves with people who agree and flatter them, I must conclude their intentions are simply to inflate their own egos. The rest of the world is watching and have come to realize the United States is indeed in a constitutional crisis. If we are to preserve our civil rights, we must speak truth to power. The lack of personal character among our elected officials is on full display. The wannabe emperor has no clothes and he enjoys girls. He enjoys young girls. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys are sexually abused in this country. I suspect most of us don't tell a soul until we're adults, if ever. Teach your precious children that no one else should touch their private parts and that they should tell you if they are uncomfortable around someone. Be aware a large percentage of the time an abuser is a trusted family member or friend. We all must rise like never before. We are a powerful force when we stand together. Our voices will not be silenced moving forward because the stakes are too high. If the false prophets are not brought down, things will not end well. Our founding fathers attempted to prevent exactly what is taking place today. The problem is there are too many in this administration who are complicit when they should be calling out the corruption. They are no longer serving the people who elected them. Therefore, it lands on our shoulders to right the ship before it sinks while others are attempting to blow it out of the water. Please help in this mission in whatever way you are able. Know in your hearts that light, love, and truth will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Right. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to general items. The appointment of Renee Studner to the Tree Park Board for a remainder of a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2026. We've been trying to get her on this thing for a long time, so she's been really patient waiting. Executive review. Don't have anything there. Council discussion on the ambulance decision. Who's going to present that? You?
Good evening, Council. So the mayor wanted this put on the agenda. He was planning on attending tonight to have a discussion about it, and the EMS chief, Lindy Gerchek, she had a prior engagement, but she wanted to come and speak to it. I believe she's talked to emergency services about the need for a new ambulance for quite some time. I handed you out a packet with, this is CIP, the capital improvement plan, which lists replace ambulance care 2 in the year general project year 2026. The funding sources are general, and it's a priority number 1, project cost of $300,000. Lindy had came to the mayor with a proposal to buy an ambulance for $250,000, which was lower than that from a currently an ambulance that's in stock, that's in your packet. There's a outline of those lists of costs and then what a new ambulance would cost with the cot in it, or the, I call it the stretcher, but the cot that goes in the back of it. And it would be, is going to be well over $300,000. So with that, what we're trying to do is start a fundraiser to help pay for that. What's in the CIP. It says the funding sources of the general. I believe it was spoken to the Local Business Alliance. Were you part of that? And it was talked about how we could help fund the ambulance for the EMS services. This goes all the way back into when the city clerk treasurer and I were looking at funding the fire department with a new fire truck. We were looking at taking out a max loan for that and leaving money in the reserve for the general fund so that we could have money on hand, cash on hand, to potentially buy a new ambulance for the department. So with that, the budget was prepared. Just to answer, the current ambulance is not in there. We passed a budget funding $40,000 to the CIP to move on a monthly basis money into a CIP for her. So come June of next fiscal year, she would have $40,000 to go towards that purchase of that ambulance. We believed at the time that maybe that's all we could do at the time was $40,000, move it into a CIP fund for her because it was a priority number 1. And then what we could do to help fund that, looking at the general fund, what the reserves were going to be, but we didn't know until we had all the tax collection coming in this fall, see where we're sitting at, and then find out where we are on the budget. So in discussions with the bank, Yellowstone Bank, we were throwing it around about having to take out a loan for an ambulance. And when it came down to it, it doesn't matter if you take out a loan for an ambulance or a fire truck. The terms are the same. They're going to match whatever SRF does for us, and they would match the terms. So we thought, well, if we're going to have to take out 2 loans, one for a fire truck, one for an ambulance, why don't we just take out the 1 load and keep the money in the reserve so that we could potentially help offset the cost of a new ambulance out of the general fund reserves because it's outside of the adopted balanced budget. So during CIP discussions, council could utilize the the general fund reserve to fund one-time projects. It's something that you can't long-term fund forever and ever and ever because you don't have it. So like wages and payroll, you would want to sit there and pull out of reserves. Essentially, you would be, at a certain point, you would run out of the reserves. So with that and going through the discussion with the library, the people that are on the budget finance, we had the discussion about local option sales tax. And we are getting in about $190,000 a year in local option sales tax from when you register your motor vehicles. That money then goes to the county turns around and sends it back to the city. In the case of that, for the last 4 years, it was being distributed to multiple funds. The medical mill value, the PERS, which is the city's retirement system. General fund was receiving some of it, and that's about $190,000 in general fund revenue. That was, like I said, it was being dished out to a bunch of different departments, but they had no way to spend it because it was just revenue coming in and it was being distributed as revenue. So what we've talked with the city clerk treasurer today is, could we possibly use that money? And at the council discretion, it's local option sales tax, it's general fund revenue, to help purchase the ambulance and trying to hit that 250,000 mark. So currently we have 40,000 in CIP, or would be at the end of the fiscal. The EMS chief also has $25,000 in her reserve for purchase of an ambulance or outfitting an ambulance. So that takes us to 65,000 that we have cash on hand, or will have cash on hand in this budget year. We are doing hopefully maybe some fundraisers with the Laurel Chamber, maybe the Community Foundation. I've approached my neighbor who's opened a Jersey Mike's in Laurel, and we had a discussion with him last Friday with, or his representative last Friday. Jersey Mike's would like to do a fundraiser, and everything goes through. He'd like to print out between 5,000 and 7,000 coupons that if you donate $3 for a new ambulance, they will turn that money over. You donate $3 and you get a free sub. That would be in November, around November 18th, and it'd be run for about 5 days. So we're working on Jersey Mike's to do that fundraiser. Depending on how many people will go get a Jersey Mike's sandwich and donate the $3, we don't really know what that money would look like at this point. But it's something that and there's a lot of people in this community, I think, that would step to the plate and try to make donations to make this happen. You know, we need, some people need an EMS rig more than others. And unfortunately, like yesterday, we had a very bad accident right here on First Avenue. And we need these people to come here and be able to respond in vehicles and get to those sites to try to help people. So the mayor's very well aware of what we need. What came out of the discussions are, per the purchasing policy, we need anything over 80,000 has to be bid. So in the city council rules and procedures, I guess, our purchasing policy, you've adopted the state criteria. And the state criteria is $80,000 limit for purchases or services. Over 80,000, we have to go to bid. Otherwise, it's an audit finding. So with that, we cannot just go out and purchase an ambulance sitting on the lot. We actually have to go to bid. So with that, we're kind of asking the council, if you can look at the CIP, we know it's not in the budget. We'd like to help try to fund that through using local option sales tax of 180,000 or 190,000. We anticipate around 80 or 90,000 in donations right now that we're kind of tallying up. And that would take us to the 250 to try to fund it. And then working with local businesses to everything that we can get in there, we could return some of that money back to the general fund. But without touching the reserve account, we think we can use the local option sales tax donations and do, you know, whatever spaghetti fundraisers or whatever else the local business alliance in this, what do you call the group? It's a, sorry.
This group that's preparing to do the fundraiser is called CALL. It's
Community Advocates Leading Laurel.
Thank you. Yeah, we've got a Halloween spaghetti dinner,
That's right, spaghetti dinner.
costume thing planned for October 25th.
4 to 8.
So as you can see, we're already getting, without even having the council agree to go to bid on this, we're getting community support. Everyone is behind the ambulance to try to fund it. City staff, I've been working on it last week. Again, you know, a little bit yesterday and trying to fit it in. But talking to Lindy yesterday with Kelly, the city clerk treasurer, and trying to get something, a funding package to where we can feel confident in going to you, the council, and say, hey, we feel pretty confident we're gonna be able to afford it. And so that's where we're at. We would have to go to bid, so we would need a resolution authorizing the ambulance to put together bid specifications and a bid packet. We also then would need, if the council is favorable tonight, where we can get some, at least some general ideas, I need to call that vendor tomorrow and see if he's willing to even bid. So we're kind of we wanted to get the feedback from the council first before we actually move forward. So that's tonight. It's on the discussion. It's to discuss it. And then if we get some positive feedback that we think the community is behind it, I will call the vendor tomorrow and see what we can do. If the vendor is out, then we will know. And so then we maybe necessarily won't go out. If we go from 250 to 345, we would have to relook at that and see if we can get council to have a resolution to approve going out to bid, because I'm not sure without local donations that we're going to be able to afford it without dipping in the reserves. So I'm trying not to touch the reserves. If we use a local option sales tax, donations, we will not have to touch the reserve, which is good news. If we do need to touch the reserves, we would need to come back to council and say we need to touch the reserves if we have to do a $340,000, $350,000. So.
Councilmember Mize, you had your hand up?
Thank you very much. Couple quick questions. So on our capital improvement plan, when it says the project year 2026, are we in fiscal year 2026? Because perfect.
25,
So
26.
we meet this requirement. And then when you're talking about if we had to dip into reserves, it would come back. So is it because that needs a separate kind of resolution if it uses reserves? Or that we would have a second resolution saying, well, I guess
So with what the clerk treasurer and I have talked to with Lindy is giving the council information that we would use local option sales tax, which has not been utilized by the departments. One of the department was the library, hadn't used it in 4 years. So we're asking that library to use the reserves that it was allocated the last 4 years, use that up. But the new allocation coming this year is going to be about 190,000. It's never been used before
so
for the
you're
last
just
4
talking
years.
about 25, 26 local option tax, not ongoing.
Not
and
ongoing,
not
right? We
passed.
wouldn't have a loan because we just pay cash for it. We would take that local option sales tax that we anticipate coming in. Essentially, we're going to take a loan against the general fund. We're going to receive approximately, after the history of what's gone on for the last 4 years, we're going to receive about $190,000 if everything's going like it has been in the last couple of years. And it's based on motor vehicle registrations. So that may fluctuate a little bit, but newer vehicles, I think it's 15 years. They have to register every year. Older vehicles, I think they get a permanent tag, and so you'd only receive that fund one time on that permanent unless it's sold. So based on the last 4 years, we've been receiving about $180,000, $190,000 a year. That money's been sitting at least in one account and been collecting with no authority to actually spend it. And that was in the library fund. It was being put there as far as posting taxes, and it wasn't actually being utilized. So we can try to sit there and try to use that. Essentially, if we don't collect all that money now, we would have to use reserves out of that, and then we'd be reimbursed back by the local option sales tax. But at this point, if the council would like favorably for us to go forward with it, because it's not part of the budget that was passed, we need authorization to seek bids. And that's what we're asking you tonight, if there's support. Now, if this vendor tomorrow says, I will not bid that vehicle that he has on the lot, we would have to supplement if we get back and we get 350,000. So that's the entire packet. You can see what they may bid for a new ambulance.
Sorry, if we go out to bid, but they all come in high, can we yank the whole thing, or we're,
Yes, you can reject any all bids. You do not have to take it. So if we go out to bid and the bids all come in high, the council can, and Michelle Brockman's on the city attorney's on there, but part of the bid documents is we reserve the right to reject all bids. And if Michelle can, I'm pretty sure that's legal advice, but if she can hear us.
Speak on that issue. We can reject any reasonable bids or not accept them. There's legal terminology that is involved, but yes, we can accept whatever is workable for the city.
Councilmember Closey.
Thank you. This vehicle that Lindy talked about at the last emergency service meeting and, I think it's the same one that we're talking about now. Is that just been offered to us? Or is that, could somebody else come in tomorrow and buy that and we'd be stuck without that vehicle then? So, or do we have a deadline that we have to let him know if we're interested or what? I would like to know
Okay,
if we're talking about something and then find out that it's going to be gone the next day.
it's currently listed for sale, and the vendor was asking the EMS chief for a down payment as soon as possible to hold it. Under the guidelines of the state statute and your authority following that state statute, the 80,000 threshold, it's above it, so we have to go to bid. So that call tomorrow is, knowing that we have council support, we generally find that council is in support of this measure and we have the community support behind it to raise the funds. We would essentially be trying to move forward with a bid package. We have the specifications. We can tailor them to essentially where that rig would meet those specifications. The discussion has to be with that vendor, and the EMS chief was asking me to make the call tomorrow after the council has been briefed. I believe she has talked about it at the emergency services meeting, so she wanted it in front of the full council to discuss it. The mayor said, I'll oblige if you've already been at EMS or the emergency services meeting. We'll put it on the agenda and we'll get some discussion at the council for the full council to consider. You have that vendor, so that's just one vendor that would like to sell us that vehicle. It's been for sale. I believe it's now sitting in Butte or Anaconda. He took it to a trade show and they may have somebody that's going to try to make an offer on it. So timing is of the essence. Realistically, if the council authorizes to create a resolution next week and there's support for that, we would ask the city attorney to prepare a resolution for the next council meeting next Tuesday night. And then we would move to advertise. Advertising is Yellowstone County News. There's a deadline at 12 o'clock on Tuesday. So it would be the following week if the council passes the resolution to seek bids and authorizing the EMS chief to seek bids. She would advertise the following week. And then we would have I believe state statute under bidding documents, it's 2 weeks publicly noticed. And then closing of bids, it's a sealed bid. Over 80,000, they're sealed bids. They would come into City Hall. We would open them, bring them back to workshop, hopefully discuss it at workshop and then a regular council meeting. So we're looking maybe at 6 weeks. That's the minimum timeline, 6 weeks.
Councilmember Canopy?
No.
Go ahead.
So in the pictures and the stuff that I've gotten, is that the actual miles, is that 314 miles? That's the actual odometer, everything's what's on this worksheet?
Yeah, I believe they updated that information, but they drove it down to, I guess, a trade show.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know is that's what was actually what we were looking at.
Yeah. I think Michelle had to comment.
City Attorney, Michelle?
Yes, may I, thank you, Acting President Wilkie. I want to speak to this issue. I attended the Emergency Services Committee meeting. I don't know if it was a week or two ago. Our EMS services spoke about this issue. I've done a lot of research since then and delved into it, as I think our city staff have. We are in desperate need in our ambulance service situation. Has the EMS levy helped us? Absolutely. But there is absolute desperate need. And I could not feel more passionate and supportive of the support for our department in this regard. As Kurt very well articulated, this is an urgent need, it's also an urgent request because the options that are available to the city right now are very limited, and we have a very wise option available to us. So I just want to speak to that. Again, these are not necessarily legal issues, but they absolutely impact my ability to defend this city when issues arise. So I hope our city council thinks that through carefully.
Yeah, Councilmember McGay.
Thank you. During our emergency services meeting, Chief Hopper mentioned that he has a fire truck that would be able to be potentially sold and would be willing, that money obviously would go back to the general fund, but that money could potentially be used to also go towards this purchase. Is that still possibly the case?
You know, I think there was some email floating around about that, but the details, I'm not too, I know there's the old fire truck that we replaced that one with, and then I think a rescue trailer he spoke of, and then possibly going forward with that. That's something the council consider. I'm not sure what we would get for that, but it's one option to help. Anything would help. If the fire chief would step forward and make that.
As I look at the math, Lindy had mentioned today, we had a quick meeting today about our fundraiser. And the number that she had from Kelly was 75,000. And I feel like the fire truck, the estimate was coming in at 10. So that would make sense with the 65 that you mentioned here, and then potentially that. So I know there's already been some conversation with Kelly there, and Lindy did ask, you know, is it okay if I mention this number? So that was something that she shared with us today.
Well, I'm not sure if we want to go with a motion or a show of hands of support.
We just ask if the council, if there's general consensus that you would like the city staff to keep moving forward on trying to do this. Like I said, there's a lot of work. If that vendor tomorrow says that one is not for sale, the reason we wanted to bring it right forward to you, because last week, I think Wednesday or Thursday, they were requesting a down payment if we wanted to hold it. And I had to break the news that because of state statute, we can't offer a down payment and it's not in the budget. So the first thing we have to do is clear the hurdle. If the council is generally supportive of it, we would prepare that resolution and have it on your next cycle, allowing, I think, Michelle, if you could correct me on this, it would be a resolution allowing the EMS director or chief to move forward with bidding of a vehicle. And I guess you could always say, like I said, we always have the option to reject that bid. So we don't have to take it. So if they do sell that vehicle, the fundraisers are still going out there, but it's kind of, in order to do the fundraisers, we really got to need to have the council agree to it, that we're moving forward that direction. It is in your CIP. We think we've identified 190,000. If the local option sales tax, we'd prepare that. And when we accept the bid, we would have the council, I think, in a dual resolution or part of that resolution to be paid for out of that. Give us staff the direction to move forward with paying it out of that local option sales tax as a part of the revenue package. So we'd like to give you a more detailed explanation. Now, if that vehicle is sold and we are looking at $350,000, I'm not saying that we shouldn't keep doing it and looking for it, the extra $100,000, but I will do my best to talk to local businesses. And we're having a meeting with, even the refinery. We'll go around and ask anyone that in the community that wants to support that endeavor. So.
Thanks, Kurt. Is there a consensus from the council to move forward?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, Councilmember Closey, I think that was you that I interrupted, and I apologize when I appear by phone. This is not ideal. I understand that. To move forward council discussion, someone needs to indicate that this is a priority for you and that we need to move it to resolution. As Kurt said, what matters legally is putting something in front of you from a resolution standpoint. Do we have to document it as far as what's going to substantiate it? Yes, of course. But we need direction from you on what you want to do on this issue.
Councilmember Closey?
Thank you. Yes, I think we should move forward with this and ask our attorney to put together a resolution for bids, provided that this vendor still is agreeable to put that vehicle up for bids.
Michelle, did you need a motion here or just a show of hands?
No, this is a workshop, so I think you've given your indication, I think by way of city council discussion. And so I will work with city staff, as I know that Kurt will, to get you what you need, with the idea that the next cycle, you'll have presented to you what you need.
But if I may interject, is there anyone that not in support of us moving forward? Maybe that's a better way to do it. So is anyone not supportive of moving forward? And I know it's, if there's people in the audience, I think it's on the agenda tonight. I don't know if we want any public input on this. Chair, if there's anyone in the audience that would like to offer their support to the council, but I think we have the general understanding the council is in favor of this and we'll try to move forward with it tomorrow.
I think the city attorney's got our marching orders. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to other items. Kurt has another item here. I think you all have a little packet there. It says resolution number at the top there. He's going to explain that to you.
Okay, under the other items, we had a resolution. So we've been having a city shop. It's in our budget to do some work on the city shop building every time it rains. So this is kind of how it propped up again. Was it rained over the weekend and water's all over inside the city shop. The roof is collapsing in a certain spot and the public works director got 2 quotes. He got 1 quote from Donahue Roofing. The date on that was on 9/29, and then we sought another one from Kirkness, and that date is 10/6. So 2 quotes. The recommendation is that we go with Donahue Roofing for $39,906.48, and that is to go over there and fix all the leaks in the roof for the city shop. You'll see there's a big difference in between the pricing. One's $39,906 and the other one I think is $128,000. The request is to go Donahue Roofing to fix all the leaks, and they are guaranteeing that it will cost only the $39,000. So it's below the $80,000. We don't have to go to sealed bids or competitive bids if we have a bid or quote underneath that. So with that, we've contacted the city attorney to get a resolution for Donahue Roofing and Siding. We would ask the council to give due consideration to this next Tuesday. And if there's any questions I could pass along to the public works director. In the meantime, we get you some answers back, but he couldn't attend tonight. So, but I've been over there numerous times and the water's coming in. It's been going on for quite a few years. And over the water room, the sheetrock has collapsed inside that building, so.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Canopy.
Thank you. Is this new company, the Donahue's, putting a roof on or patching or repairing, what warranty comes with that? Do we get something? And how about insurance on the old? Too far past, too long gone? So basically it's replace what we're gonna do, and then do we get the warranty from them?
So under the small service agreements, the warranty is 1 year. It's not like we are a homeowner that you put on a roof and they're going to give you a 20-year manufacturer. When we do with all small service contracts, the standard terms are 1 year warranty. And so they have to, it's in, everything that we do is a 1 year warranty. Hopefully we'd have rain to find out that if it was fixed right, but I think it may be in your small service agreement. Mm. 1 year, right. It's item number E under contractors' warranties and responsibilities, item number E. But they will guarantee the 1 year from completion and final acceptance by the city. And that's standard at all the contractors that we hire.
On that issue,
Yes, go ahead.
the reason that we utilize as a city the 1 year warranty contract, if you want to call it that, is because that is what is set out by law. So there's nothing we're doing different as a city than what is guaranteed by law. If you have nothing written out by contract and you have, you know, services performed in this manner, it is a 1 year warranty. So we articulate it in our contracts for a very real reason, but it's also what the law is. Could we ask for something more than that? Sure. And frankly, that's probably a conversation that Kurt and I should have. Should longer warranties exist in these circumstances? He and I should probably talk about whether we want to negotiate that for Laurel. But right now, as things have existed for decades, it is what is by default under Montana law. It's a 1 year warranty, and we just formalize that in our small services contracts.
Thank you. Councilmember McKay.
Thank you. Is this just to repair the roof or to replace it?
So under the Donahue roofing, they tell you that they're using, I mean, they go through line item by line item. What they do not tell us is what the price is per unit or per price on things. So it's a lump sum bid of 39,000. But you can see it's going titanium synthetic underlayment that goes under shingles or underneath the roofing. They're using lumber to fix the roof, the transitions from the roof to the 2x6 lumber, the sheets of OSB, they're going through all of it, O-rings, coing, laminate shingles to blend in the existing roof. So they're fixing the shingles that are there.
So
Custom
this is a
flashing, yeah.
repair, not a replacement, or are we not sure?
Yeah, cut back the metal roof to accept cricket transition, install valley gutter, the valley metal. So it has in there valley metal, 24-inch. So they're in there with valley metal. They're replacing the metal on that part of that. So as far as I know, they're making it watertight and they're doing the repair. These are also the company that the council just authorized to repair the water treatment plant. So they might be giving us a little bit better deal, but from my understanding, they were doing the same jobs. Both quotes were doing the same job, but I can ask for clarification for next Tuesday.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like it's some replacement, some repair. Just
Yeah.
depending on what I think that would be a valuable thing to know.
Okay, I can get that back to you.
Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate that.
Anyone else? All right, we'll move on. Attendance at next week's council meeting. Everybody gonna be here? Sounds good. Any announcements? Councilmember McKay.
Thank you. So we already touched on it briefly, but we are planning to do a fundraiser for the EMS. This is something that started almost a year ago through the Leadership Laurel Group, created this call group to really focus on the needs of our emergency services. And after Lindy came to our meeting the other day, I took it to the call group and we kind of decided to put this together. So that said, Saturday, October 25th, October 25th at the Lions Hall. We're gonna have a family-friendly spaghetti dinner and costume party. You don't have to dress up. That's not your jam, that's fine. We'll be selling tickets here shortly. Cammie's getting them printed and they should be out. I think for a family, it was 20. Like a family of 4 was 20. Was 40. Don't listen to me. I will get that information. And then, so you can purchase a family ticket. You can get the, buy individual tickets. There will be a costume party or a costume contest. We're gonna have some games, raffle items. Several of us have already, committed to donating items to a raffle. As we've done our Meet the Candidates, meetings and things, one thing that we've heard a lot from a lot of people in the community is that they don't really feel like this body or the city support them. So whether it be in their establishments or at their events that they put on, maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But I think this would be a really great opportunity to see our faces at an event in the community. If it's something that you're not able to do, a donation of a raffle item. If you're not sure, like I don't have anything to donate, gift cards, cash, we can go buy raffle items, something like that. But I just think this would be really a great opportunity for the city and for council to show support and to be at a community event. So I will be circulating more information and selling all of you tickets to attend this event. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Councilmember Canopy.
Thank you. So it's family of 4 is $40. Is it, you're gonna have 8? Can we just keep going $10?
Don't quote me. Don't quote me
Okay.
for sure on
Okay.
the, let me get the
Because I
ticket
mean, it
first.
doesn't, it's kind of a mute. I mean, it's gonna be a good thing, I think.
It will be a good thing,
It is
yes.
gonna be a
Just
really good thing.
buy the tickets.
Yep. Yeah.
I will get back with you guys on our amounts and ticket sales. Thank you.
Anything else?
I
Yes,
do
sir,
have
go
that.
ahead.
So I am traveling to maintain a building, my building certificate next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so I won't be at council meetings, but I will try to get an answer on that roof for you prior to leaving town. We do have a holiday. I would like to announce City Hall is closed on Monday for an observant of Columbus Day, or there's another name for that, Indigenous People Day. So we will be closed on that date, returning to business on Tuesday. But like I said, I have to maintain those credits, so we do have a building inspector that is fully certified, but in the absence of him when he wants to take vacation, the mayor's asked me to maintain my certifications so that I can go out and continue doing the commercial building inspections. And if you haven't noticed, the other announcement I would have is Main Street. So it was brought to my attention by a council member today that there is, well, actually two council members, that there's construction going on. That is the Love's water and sewer installation. They had a pre-application meeting last Friday. They are then starting today. They are going to, I believe, the way it looks, they are going to be moving on the water line first, and then they'll potentially switching the traffic control and working on the sewer line second. So the sewer line is on the south side, the water line's on the north. They do have a street traffic light up. That is all done through the Montana Department of Transportation. The city of Laurel has no traffic control. That is a state route, state highway, and the state is monitoring that traffic control. As we get more information, I'm sure we can give you updates at council meetings and moving it forward. I don't believe it's going to take too long to do all that work, hopefully before the snow flies. A lot of the work is not in the asphalt. It's actually once they get past Town and Country, the work is in the borrow ditches. So if you've been out that way recently, there's some blue markers and lath, we call them, little wood sticks, and they are blue on the north side and they are green on the south side. So I want to just make it that I think we can probably put something out on the Facebook page that this is a new traffic thing that's going to be around for a couple of weeks. If you haven't been out to the site, they are in full swing. And the last I heard is they want to open by March. So it's, they're fast tracking it and they're trying to get ahead of the weather, which if you didn't see the Beartooth yesterday, there's snow up there, so.
All the way down to the Foothills.
Yeah, so anyway, that was my announcements for the council is closed on Monday, back at it, and then the traffic control for Love's water and sewer connection.
Thanks, Kurt. Anything else? Yes, council member.
Just to make sure I'm
Canopy.
correct, it is gonna be water on north side and sewer coming on the south side. Has that changed from when they first started this, do you know?
No.
It's not, okay?
Yeah, it's been always, so under DEQ regulations, you have to maintain 10 feet of separation. So with that, working with the DOT, they didn't want to have the expense of going down the middle of the roads and tear up all that asphalt in the base. And so they're working right off on the shoulders. I think they're going to try to maintain that one-way traffic and with the traffic signals where you would have to wait. And then as traffic is coming in, I would really like anyone coming from the west, either go up Golf Course Road over to 9th and come in to avoid it. Or if you, another option for people coming in from the west would be to get on the interstate and get off at the refinery exit, or I think 343 or 342, 432, I think. I don't know. It's been a while since I'm on the fire department, so I can't remember the exact, but jump on there. And even if you have to go to the west and you want to avoid that, jump on here at what we call the refinery exit and jump on there, and you can get off out there and you can avoid it. And so there's ways around going up 8th Avenue, West 9th and down Golf Course, or jump on the interstate and go around it. And then you don't have to sit there and wait for the light. So.
Okay. Anything else? With that, I guess we're dismissed.